This is the beer that made Milwaukee famous, and even part of the old brewery is being demolished. It has been beautifully preserved now in a new book called Schlitz Brewing Art, and we're joined this afternoon by author and photographer Paul Bialis, and also by Peter Eline, whose family steered that brewery into the 20th century and maintained an ownership stake for more than 100 years. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Peter, let's just start, because I think, obviously because your last name is not Schlitz, a lot of people probably don't know the family history that you all have at the helm of this brewery.
The brewery was founded in 1849 by August Krug, and it was essentially similar to what we have today, the craft brew place, the restaurant and brewery. When August passed away, his bookkeeper married his widow. The bookkeeper's name was Joseph Schlitz. Joseph Schlitz named the company after himself. After he passed away in 1875, the ownership was passed on to August Krug's nephews, the Eline brothers. And that's where the Eline name came in, and the Eline stayed dominant with the brewery until it was sold in 1982.
Well, it's some kind of story. And Paul, this is your second brewery book. You previously did the Pabst, and we had you on to talk about that. What is it about these historic places that captures your imagination as a photographer and, someone, a historian, really?
Specifically Schlitz, if you look at the significance, the beer that made Milwaukee famous to the country and to Milwaukee, and you look at what Schlitz meant to the city, and now these buildings have been abandoned for 30 years and there's still lab equipment in there, and the ornateness of these 1890 structures is still there, and then you get the opportunity to go in and photograph it. It's really amazing. It gives you the opportunity to present these photos along with historical information for people to look at.
I'm going to have them bring up a few, if you guys can hold on this one. This is one of my favorites that you did. Tell us what's going on here.
When you first walk into the brew house, it's just this gigantic open area, and in there, which was amazing, is this American flag is hanging in there. You can see it's torn, like it's been hanging there for decades, and it really was amazing to be in there in that presence and then capture it in a photograph to share with people.
This was the one that I pulled because it was interesting. We had an interesting conversation about this when you did the Pabst book. And Peter, I'm curious, there seem to be things all over in Paul's book here where it looks like things were just abandoned and left like the day that you closed up shop.
They were. The brewing ceased in 1981, and so this brew house has been laying dormant for over 30 years. And it was just too old. It had to be torn down because it wasn't maintained. But it really was a unique structure with the ironwork, the skylight, which is a predominant feature of this brew house.
And Paul, what you're doing here too is you're crossing a couple of things, because you have people who are interested in Milwaukee history, people who are interested in brewing, and people who just like good photography. And it's got all that.
Absolutely, and when you compare it to the Pabst book, this is the only published Schlitz book right now. So I spent a lot of time including history, and there's some old photographs, there's old letters in the back from the early 1900s from people that are distributors in different areas of the brewery talking. It's really the highlights of my research are included in the book, along with a CD in the back that you get to hear from old employees what the brewery was like, and you also get some local music from local bands wrote songs about Schlitz. So it's a complete
package. Of course they would have.
Yeah, they're all hand-signed and numbered, and it's a special project, a special book, and it can be found on my website, which is lakecountryphoto.com. And I'm running a special today on my website. They're discounted, the Pabst and Schlitz books. So,
well, we'll make it easy for you. For more information on the book and any of Paul's work, we set up a link for you on our website, tmj4.com.